Welcome, viewers. This is Kahara Integrative Medicine Academy. It is an online class, and we'll be looking at the healing and energetic properties of stonebreaker. Stonebreaker is known scientifically as Philanthus amarus. It's a medicinal plant that abounds so much in Nigeria and Africa. My name is Professor Gilbert Ezengige. Philanthus amarus can be harvested, can be powderized after it has been dried properly, and can be administered as a herbal infusion. It can also be prepared as a decoction. In that case, you boil it lightly. You don't want to overboil Philanthus amarus because it contains a lot of chemicals, phytochemicals, that are destroyed by too much heat. So when you want to prepare a decoction and you want to boil it, it must not be for long. I advise don't even boil more than 5 minutes, counting from the boiling point. We actually administer the aerial part, that is the part that grows above the soil. Philanthus amarus easily can be characterized by the way seeds, tiny seeds, are arranged beneath the leaf vein. We are coming to that, but it is an important medicinal plant that every student of herbal medicine must try to learn and understand its therapeutic potentials. What can it be used for? For instance, stonebreaker has powerful antiviral property. It can also be used to treat malaria. It has anti-malaria property. It has anti-typhoid property. It has hepatoprotective property. And when we say something has hepatoprotective property, we are trying to say it has the ability to provide protection to our liver. It has a tonic effect on the kidneys. And a lot of practitioners have actually utilized stonebreaker to dissolve gallstones and also kidney stones. That's why the name stonebreaker rings a bell. Now, like I said, it can also dissolve kidney stones. Is a very effective emmenagogue. And when we say that a remedy has a emmenagogue property, we are just trying to say that that plant has the ability to stimulate menstrual flow. So definitely it will benefit women experiencing scanty flow. It's a very good remedy for acute and chronic hepatitis. Most hepatitis, A, B, C, all of them, Philanthus amarus has great effect on them. It's an effective diuretic medicinal plant. It can actually work on the kidneys and to make the kidneys to make more urine. So it could benefit, for instance, patients who are suffering from water retention. Then Philanthus has strong analgesic activity, very useful in management of pains. Then we know that it can also treat some cold condition, bronchitis, even very useful as an adjunct therapy in the treatment of asthma. Is recommended for digestive problems. You see the tiny, tiny seeds I told you, at the back of the leaf, the leaf vein. Yes, the greenish tone at the back of the leaf is slightly, not as deep as the front. So the back has lighter green, whereas the front has deeper green. And if you look at it, you see tiny seeds. That's why the Igbos call it Ililokonwa. That's plant that carries babies at the back. Okay, so by the way, the Yorubas also call it Eibisowo. Those are the two local names that I know are very, very popular. What other healing potentials does stonebreaker possess? Used for sexually transmitted diseases, also helps to relieve muscle spasms. Is also very useful in lowering blood sugar, meaning it has hypoglycemic property. Is beneficial for those who suffer from jaundice. The plant actually possesses a lot of antimicrobial properties. It also has an anti-inflammatory property. Another important action of the herb is that it has what we call antiphlogistic action. Any herb that has antiphlogistic action has the ability of opening blocked passageways in the body, let's say tuber blockage or intestinal obstructions. Of course, we are not talking of where you have very serious physical obstructions, but when they are more like movable obstructions, fluid collections, pores, and all matters that are close to that, antiphlogistic herbs have the ability to dislodge such obstructions. Now, let's look at some other actions of stonebreaker. It helps to expel intestinal worms, very useful in the treatment of prostate inflammation, which we call prostatitis. It also treats bladder inflammation and infection, which we call cystitis. We apply it in the treatment of urinary tract infections. It is very, very useful. It is a potential herb which is studied widely, for its potential in the treatment and management of HIV. And it has the ability to lower cholesterol level in the blood. That is what we mean by saying it has hypocholesterolemic action. Now, let's look at the energetics of stonebreaker. Medicinal plants can be classified, energetically under different temperaments. We say plants have temperaments just like human beings have. And there are four basic types of temperaments with their different shades. You have the sanguine temperament, you have the melancholic temperament, you have the bilious or the choleric temperament, and then you have the phlegmatic temperament. Every plant has a particular temperament that controls it. And so when you know that, you can actually be in a better position to administer such herbs to those that specifically will require that. Each human being is also dominantly influenced by one of these temperaments. And so, what we are trying to say, for instance, is that if a particular herb, for instance, is classified as having sanguine temperament, it simply means that for patients that are classified or that have sanguine temperament, dominating their temperament, such herbs in excess might be a problem because it will just be as if you are giving an overdose. He has a sanguine temperament and you are giving herbs having sanguine temperament in excess. But it also means that for such individual, when there is deficiency of sanguine humors in them, such herbs can help to increase the humors. But when there is excess sanguine humors in such patients that are classified under sanguine, giving herbs that have sanguine temperament uh, will be like an overkill. So energetically, you do not administer or rather follow such steps. And that is why that we say that herbal medicine is just beyond knowing the medicinal actions of herbs, whether this herb has diuretic property, antimicrobial property, or all those are good, because it will help you in therapeutics. But you must at the same time be able to know the person who is taking it. You know, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, once told his students, it is more important to know what sort of a person has a disease than to know what sort of disease the person has. This statement is really, really loaded, pregnant with meaning. So, if, for instance, um, okay, let's continue because we are getting there. We're getting there. So, when there are changes, in the various temperament of an individual, of course, which can be caused by so many factors, then there may be need to also alter the herbs that you administer to such individual also based on their temperaments. Ailments, diseases, emotional issues, emotional stress, psychological behavior, etc. They are all linked to various types of temperaments. And that is why, um, you know, noting the temperament of herbs will be very, very important to modern day practitioners of natural medicine. Choleric choleric herbs, you know, will actually help to infuse, a lot of cola to the patient who is taking it. And so you have to be sure that you really do not want to increase choleric temperament in that person, or you could be sure that you actually want to increase. You must be sure of what you want to do. When there is excess choleric temperament in a person, utilizing choleric herbs as herbal medicine preparation in treating that person will further worsen the condition of that person. Of course, unless the herbs are prepared homeopathically. When you administer it as herbal medicine, where you just get the herbs, boil or infuse and give the person, then it will definitely increase the choleric temperament if the person is actually classified as having choleric temperament. But when you prepare it homeopathically, it works the other way because homeopathy is a form of alternative medicine that utilizes the principle of, you know, like cures like, and they also prepare their medicine in such a way that it's administered in small doses. In small doses. Stonebreaker has choleric or bilious temperament. Here we go. We have, through our knowledge of herbal medicine, which is beyond the class, this particular online class, we have been able to establish and work out that Stonebreaker has choleric, or which we also call bilious temperament. In choline deficiency health challenges, it can be very useful. In choline deficiency health challenges, it could be very, very useful to administer Stonebreaker. However, in excess choline conditions, you do not administer this herb because it has choleric temperament. You must administer the opposite, which is phlegmatic herbs that are classified under phlegmatic temperament. We'll be discussing all of that in future lectures. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to hit on the notification button and also like my page so that you can be getting regular updates on our online class lectures. So, like I said, Stonebreaker has choleric temperament. It has the quality of being hot and dry. Energetically, it can help us with charisma. When we have low energy, we want to be on the move, just like a choleric humor does to individual. This herb will impute, charisma. It will energize us. It vitalizes us. It makes us to keep moving. Although at the same time, if one has excess of choleric temperament, this herb must not be administered because it could make the person to become more impatient, to make the patient to become even more angry, because that is what excess of choleric temperament can do to a human being. So thank you for watching today's online class on Stonebreaker. See you other times. Bye.